The word agriculture comes from the Latin agricultura, meaning cultivation of the field. It covers all the arts, skills, sciences, industries and services used by humans to obtain food from the land. This includes the cultivation of crops and the rearing of livestock, together with the related industries that supply seeds, chemical fertilizers, machinery, finance and technology. In addition, agriculture involves marketing and processing. Agriculture means the same as farming and husbandry. However, farming and husbandry have more to do with specific activities such as dairy farming, crop husbandry, organic farming, livestock husbandry, mixed farming and exotic farming. Pre-colonial era agriculture in pre-colonial era is usually involved mainly hunting and gathering things. They often include hunting for wild boar and fishing. Root crops were the primary crops that were planted. These crops included cassava, dasheen and sweet potato. During this time farming was managed through methods such as shifting cultivation and slash and burn. In the colonial era, the approach to farming started to change. The introduction of crops such as sugarcane and banana was made. Some crops were introduced to the Caribbean. These crops include ackee and breadfruit. Slash and burn were a common practice because it is the main way to clear land. Livestock was used to till the soil for cultivation. Coastal fishing was also popular practice in which people used simple boats and small fishing vessels to fish. In addition, livestock rearing was introduced. It consisted mainly of cattle along with an increasing reliance on poultry for eggs and meat. In this era more changes in the technology take place. The Green Revolution encouraged the widespread use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides which helped to increase crop production. There was also the introduction of crop rotation which minimized the negative impact of agriculture on the soil and water. In addition, rearing poultry within for both eggs and meat grew rapidly to replace the dependence on beef. Rearing of other animals, such as pigs for pork and bacon, goats and sheep increased. The diversification of crops became more pronounced with the introduction of non-traditional crops such as yam, banana, coffee, cocoa and coconut. Food security can be defined as being able to be self-sufficient in good quality food. In the Caribbean, food security is often affected by 1. The declining in total earnings from traditional crops is a result from loss of trade. Secondly, little to no access to water and other inputs cause low productivity of agricultural products which affect food security. Another thing that affects food security is when people are dependent on imported food, which may cause by factors such as there is difficulties to produce local food at competitive prices. Aeroponics. This is the process of growing plants in the air rather than in the soil. Plants are usually grown suspended in the air in a greenhouse or other closed system. The roots have no direct contact with water or soil. Nutrients and water are sprayed onto the plant in a fine mist every few minutes. This method has advantages. The plants tend to grow more quickly because the roots are exposed to oxygen. In addition, the plants get all the nutrients they need and fewer nutrients are needed because they are absorbed directly by the roots. However, specialist knowledge is needed to achieve the correct mix of nutrients, and the equipment is expensive. The root chambers also need to be kept clean as they are easily contaminated in the warm, moist conditions. This is when plants grown using a hydroponic system are grown in water. This water is full of nutrients and are taken up by the roots of the plants. Crops such as lettuce and tomatoes are often grown using hydroponics. The plants receive all the nutrients they need and this speed up their growth. The grower can control this process. This takes up less space. The plants also use less water than other plants. Crops such as lettuce can be shipped in the water, prior to being harvested, which will increase their freshness. Diseases and pathogens that can affect the crop, and these are eliminated by hydroponics. An important disadvantage is that the system is expensive to establish and run. A grow box is often used to grow plants in a self-contained environment. This box has a hydroponic system, a built-in light system and ventilation system. Sometimes grow boxes maintain the correct temperature and enrich the atmosphere with carbon dioxide to boost growth. Grow boxes are also used to grow plants in controlled conditions in laboratories. Trough culture involves growing crops in shallow troughs. The troughs can be filled with an inert, soil-free medium such as rockwool and are connected to a drip system that supplies water and nutrients in solution. Once the troughs have been set up, they are easy and inexpensive to maintain. They are used for vegetables and flowers, and the gardener can put them in greenhouses or anywhere convenient. Both grow boxes and trough culture enable plants to be grown where space is limited or the soil is poor. modifications can be made to suit the circumstances, for example, the number of units and their arrangement, the use of different types of inert material and temperature and lighting control, if needed. Commercial systems have many units, but both methods can be used on a smaller scale.